We're about to settle this debate. These have all been here for 4 hours. They started off in there, and they started off in a much cooler room. In here it is currently 27 degrees. Hopefully you can see that. So what I want to know is which of these have held the temperature coolest for longest. Starting off with hay, I don't think this is going to have retained, it's going to have retained any temperature. This hay is not, the temperature is not at all moving. And that makes sense. Apart from making my eyes water, this hay is not really doing much for the temperature. Next up, Aspen. I have a sneaky feeling about this, but I don't know. It is falling. This thermometer can be a bit slow to react, which is probably not ideal in a meat thermometer when you think about it. It's settled at 26.8. So it's not a lot cooler in there, but it is half a degree. So it's half a degree cooler, or actually nearly 1 degree now. So it's actually half a degree cooler than the rest of the room. I think that's relatively significant considering the room is 27 degrees. And this is just a bag. Imagine if you had like a massive tank full of it. I imagine it would probably be a little bit cooler. Next up, cocoa chips. I don't think these are going to have retained any coolness at all. Right, this temperature hasn't moved at all. So cocoa chips, lovely substrate for digging and actually really good for your hamster's teeth, not a cooling substrate. So it is a tiny bit cooler in here, again, like 0.5. So similarly to the Aspen, it is a tiny bit cooler in the Beech chips, but probably I wouldn't say that was significant in terms of it being cold. I actually don't know what to think about Cork granules because I feel like they're just cool anyway, which is the scientific term for saying like I've never done this experiment on Cork, so I have no idea. So I don't know about Cork. Let's find out. It's gone down by it says 27.1, so it's gone down by a nominal amount. We started on like 27.5. It's not really a cooling substrate, but it is cooler in there than it is out here, but a tiny amount. Next thermometer 27.4. Let's try the soil. Out of all of them, I think this is the one. However, this is quite a small bag of soil. This is not a full bag of soil because I don't have any made up at the minute. That's my afternoon job in 28 degree heat. Yeah, this is going down quite fast actually. 25.8. That is like 1.5 degrees, nearly 2 degrees cooler than the ambient temperature. That's wild. I expected it to be a little cooler, but 2 degrees cooler is quite significant, or 1.5 degrees is quite significant in terms of something that your hamster could just sit in. So if you've got a hamster that's just sitting in their soil, Flame used to do that as well, that could well be why. Maybe set the thermometer. Sand. Personally, I think the sand will be the one because the particles in here are so small that it traps lots and lots of air. Return to room temperature. Right, we're back at room temperature, which is now 28 degrees. And let's find out about the sand. That is immediately gone down. That is just wild. That is just going. It's just ticking down. 26.3. That is nearly 2 degrees cooler than the rest of the room. And that's been sat in here for 4 hours. So none of these temperature changes were as drastic as what we saw yesterday with the bedding. But it does show that sand and soil are quite cooling in terms of substrates. So if you can give your hamster sand and or soil, then when they come out from underneath their bedding, they have somewhere cool to sit, groom, eat, whatever it is that their little hearts desire.